It's been about a month since I posted a video on this channel. I've been very busy getting work done inside my house. For the past year, I guess you could say, I've kind of put the work inside my house on the sidelines while I concentrated on getting the shop ready, making videos, writing articles for the website, and so on and so forth. So I figured it was time for a little bit of a trade-off. The video that I'm going to show now, I actually filmed it back in the beginning of November, but I really didn't like the way it turned out. A few things that I didn't like about it, so I just set it aside. I didn't finish editing it, but I figure at this point I'm not going to get out here and do a project for the next week or so. I think I've got other videos that I need to edit, so I figure any video is better than no video, so I finished editing it, and here it is. I made this fence system for the original homemade table saw, and I put it on this newer saw. You know, the saw is a couple of years old now, but one step that I skipped in the beginning was I didn't put my adjustment screws here to adjust it square to the blade or the table. What I was doing before was I was taking the time to square the rail, but I figure you know, it's just as well to do this now. I'm having a little bit of difficulty lining things up, and it would be a lot easier with the set screws in that I already drilled and tapped out. I just checked it with my drill and a 1/4-20 tap to make sure that they actually were tapped. So I'm going to make a couple of set screws. I could have went and bought some, but I have these 1/4-20 bolts. What I'll do is I'll thread them in all the way, then I'll take them and cut them off with the hacksaw. Then I'll cut a slot in them that the screwdriver will fit in so that I can adjust them. All right, I've got it adjusted, and I'm going to test it by making a cut on this side, stopping the blade, then using that as a gauge to measure the gap on the other side. And it should just slip right in without any interference, and I'm looking very good there. So I know my set screws are in the right spot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over again, and I'm going to get some glue on here, crazy glue, and that will lock those screws in place. Just going to put a little dab on here, and that will stop the screws from backing out, but I can still break it free if I need to adjust it again. Another place that I skipped putting the adjustment screws in was the top of the T here. That would adjust the squareness of the face of the fence to the table. But looking at it here with my little square, I can see that it's bang on still, so they're not needed. Now, while I'm here messing around with my saw, I figured I should make a new insert. This is the original one that I made after I finished fixing up this saw. It's in bad shape. It's broken out a little bit in the middle, and it's no longer even close to zero clearance. So I've got another piece of plywood here that's not long enough. So I've got another piece of plywood here that's the right width. I'm gonna rip it to the same width as this. I think this is 3 inches, no, 3.5. So much for what I think. Better to just take the saw, move it over until it, you know, kind of kisses the blade. Then I can rip this to width and cut out that shape. Now I'm going to take the old one and put it on top of the new one and mark out where the hole's going to go, mark around the curve on the ends, and then I can take it to my bandsaw and cut around that curve roughly and drill out the 3/4 inch finger hole. All I need to do now is sand it to the line, check it in the saw to see if it fits, and make adjustments as I go. It's a good fit, but as you can see, it's not deep enough in, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did on the original. I just cut a shallow rabbet all the way around until it did fit down flush with the surface of the saw. It took a couple more passes, but I'm absolutely there now. I'm going to take my square, put it down, and as you can see, perfectly flush with the top. I've only got a couple more things that I need to do with it. The first is to put a pin in the end. This saw didn't come with one. I had to drill a hole in the top at the back, and then I drilled a hole in my insert and put a nail in, and then I cut the head off so that it would fit right in there. So I'm going to do the same here. I've got both inserts clamped in my vise, lined up so that I can see where I need to drill this hole. And then I've got a nail that I'll just tap in until it stops, and I can cut that off. And check it out and see how it fits. Looks pretty good. What the pin does is it stops the back of the insert from lifting, so that it doesn't fly up in your face if something gets caught in there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the hole for the blade, and to do that I'm just going to take the old one and make a mark in here to show approximately where the blade is going to come through. I'm going to take my fence over and put it like about 1/8 of an inch away from that, clamp it down, and now I'm going to start the saw and plunge up through it. Okay, that's all there is to it. New insert, ready to use, zero clearance again, and it didn't take long at all, and that's the way I like it actually. I don't want to mess around too much with this stuff. I'm still going to keep this other one here for when I change the blade angle on this to 45. That way I'll be able to just take this one and stick it in. I won't have to make that cut like I have in this one. In this one, this will stay, at least for a while, a zero clearance insert. Before I go, I've got one other thing I want to talk about. Mike Walt, he does videos here on YouTube. He does wood turning, actually. He's very good at that. He makes really good videos, too. Very descriptive, in detail videos. He's a part of an upcoming event in the UK. It's called the UK IWS. It's a wood turning symposium in June next year. And he asked if I could mention it on the video. I'll put a link to his channel in the description as well as the link to the symposium. Mike has always been a big supporter of my videos. He's always commenting on them, which means he's watching them, which is a good thing. All you guys over there in the UK that can get to this event, I highly recommend it. Even if you get just a chance to talk to Mike, he seems like a very interesting guy. Well, as usual, I hope you liked it, and see you next time.